Fans, this is one of those moments that hits you right in the heart of our defense. A massive decision has just been made about the future of Fabian Schär, and what happens next could change everything for Newcastle United. I'm Rodrigo, and you're watching Newcastle Mania, the channel made by fans for fans who bleed black and white. You blinked, and suddenly Newcastle was all over the headlines again. Today, we're talking about a decision that involves one of the most beloved players in the entire squad, a player who might just be living his final months in black and white. But first, just one quick thing. If you love Newcastle and want to stay up to date with everything happening at our club, make sure to subscribe right now. It costs nothing, it helps a lot, and it makes a huge difference for our black and white community. Now fans, it's official. Fabian Schär's future is in Newcastle United's hands, and the clock is ticking. His contract runs out on June 30th, and with the club focusing more and more on young talent, the Swiss defender could be facing the toughest decision of his career. Even at nearly 34 years old, Fabian Schär remains one of the most reliable pillars of Newcastle United's backline. He's one of those players who doesn't need to shout or show off to earn respect. He plays with elegance, intelligence, and a calm presence that steadies the whole defense. His reading of the game is brilliant, his positioning is spot on, and his ability to play out from the back with short, precise passes has been one of Newcastle's biggest weapons since Eddie Howe took charge. And the manager knows exactly what he's got. In a recent interview, Howe said it clearly, Fabian is very important. Dan Burn as well, because he can play in two positions. That tells you everything. Even with heavy competition, Schär is still seen as a man Eddie can trust, someone who'll always deliver when called upon. But the situation has changed, and changed fast. Since the arrival of Magpies, signed for around £35 million, Newcastle's defense has found new energy. The young German, strong, confident, and with a modern style of play, has quickly won over the fans, and he's already got his own chant echoing around St. James Park. The chemistry between Howe and Sven Botman was instant. The pair seemed to read each other's minds, quick in recovery, dominant in the air, and confident building from the back. It's exactly the kind of partnership Eddie Howe dreamed of having. Two young, commanding center-backs with the potential to lead the club for years to come. And that's where a question comes in. Where does Schär fit into this new Newcastle? With the defense being refreshed and the PIF project clearly focused on building for the future, the Swiss veteran finds himself at a crossroads. He's been an undisputed starter, a defensive rock who helped guide Newcastle back to the Champions League. But now, the competition is fierce, and for a player who's become a symbol of this era, that's not easy to handle. Eddie Howe is trying to balance things carefully. He knows what Schär brings to the table, leadership, composure, experience, but he also knows the team needs to evolve. The manager even hinted in a recent comment, football changes quickly. They've been playing really well together, but who knows what the future holds. Schär still has plenty to offer, experience, intelligence, and a winning mentality, but the fight for a place in the starting 11 has never been tougher. He's gone from being an automatic starter to a respected squad leader, but not a guaranteed name on the team sheet. And that's exactly what makes this situation so delicate. Should Newcastle keep a trusted veteran who helped rebuild the club, or make room for the next generation of defenders? The clock is ticking, and Fabian Schär's future has never been more uncertain. Collision reaction, media, fans, and social media. Social media is on fire, fans. The name Fabian Schär has become one of the most talked about topics among Newcastle supporters, and opinions are completely split. On one side, many fans are calling for an immediate renewal, celebrating everything the Swiss defender has done for the club. In the comments, you can feel the emotion. This man deserves to retire here. He's part of our rebuild. He never hid when things got tough. Schär is the definition of loyalty and consistency. These supporters remind everyone that Schär stuck around during the dark days when Newcastle were fighting at the bottom of the table and became one of the key figures in the transformation under Eddie Howe. But others are taking a colder, more business-minded view. Some argue that the PF's project is clear. It's about youth, intensity, and resale value. Players over 30 rarely fit that long-term profile. The English media have also joined the discussion. Chronicle Live reported that Newcastle may choose not to renew Schär's deal, potentially selling him in January to avoid losing him for free next summer. Meanwhile, The Athletic noted that the club is prioritizing long-term contracts for younger players with resale potential, another sign that time might be running out for the Swiss center-back. And now there's a new twist, rumors from Saudi Arabia. According to the Daily Mail, two Saudi Pro League clubs are keeping close tabs on Shar and could make an offer as early as January, taking advantage of the fact he'll be free to negotiate if no extension is agreed. So right now, fans are torn between heart and logic, between loyalty to a warrior who's given everything for the badge and the reality of a project built for the future. Whatever happens next, one thing's for sure, Fabian Schar's name will always be remembered at St. James Park. Let's remember something important here. This situation didn't just come out of nowhere. Fabian Schar has always been clear about one thing. He wanted to finish his career at St. James Park. He loves the club, he loves the city, and he's got a real connection with the fans. But the truth is, football can be cruel. Newcastle are going through a transition, moving away from an experienced squad to one that's younger, faster, and built for Champions League football. And that puts Eddie Howe in a real dilemma. Does he keep Schar's experience, a player who's calm, solid, and dependable, or does he go all in on the Thiaw-Botman partnership, a duo that could dominate the Premier League for years to come? Behind the scenes, the club are already talking numbers. Schar's salary isn't exactly small, and with PSR rules getting tighter and tighter, every new contract has to be signed with strategy, not emotion. Howe, as always, was honest but careful when asked about it. He said, "Football changes quickly. They've played well together, but who knows what might happen in the future." And he's right. Injuries can change everything. Right now, both Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento are out injured, which makes players like Dan Burn and even Schar himself more valuable because of their versatility. That's Schar's big advantage. He's smart, technical, and completely trustworthy. He could easily become the perfect luxury backup, or even a mentor for the next generation of defenders. Howe knows that. The question is, would Schar accept that role? This kind of transition isn't new. We saw the same thing happen at Liverpool, when James Milner accepted a smaller role but stayed as a leader in the dressing room. And at Manchester City, Fernandinho did exactly the same, played less, but kept the team together. Newcastle could do something similar, keep Schar for another year or two to bring experience, balance, and leadership to a squad that's getting younger every season. But there's also another option, the riskier one, to let him go and trust completely in the new generation. And that decision will define what the PIF project truly stands for in the next few years. If Newcastle decide not to renew his contract, Schar will be free to sign with any foreign club from January onwards. That means we could lose one of the most consistent players of the Eddie Howe era for free. But if the board decide to keep him, the message will be clear. Newcastle's project values not only the future, but also the players who built the present. It'll all depend on how Thiaw and Botman perform for the rest of the year. If they keep flying, renewal talks will get complicated. But if an injury or a dip in form appears, Fabian Schar could once again become the silent hero who steps in to save the team. Fabian Schar is more than just a player. He's a symbol of Newcastle's transformation. He was here before the PIF takeover, before the big names arrived, back when we were still fighting for respect. Seeing his future in doubt reminds us of how far we've come in such a short time. That's football. Time moves on, cycles change, but the love from the fans always remains. And if this really is the final chapter of Schar's journey at St. James Park, then let it end in style, with applause, respect, and gratitude from everyone who knows what he's meant to this club. But now, I want to know what you think, Toon Army. Would you renew Schar's contract, or is it time to move on and trust the youngsters? Drop your opinion down in the comments. I really want to hear what our black and white family thinks. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates about our Newcastle. I'm Rodrigo, this is Newcastle Mania, and here's how it works. Newcastle never stops, and neither do we.